good.
Good is not the word I would use, but here.
You okay? You alive? Good enough for me. Better than Todd and Nick. What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Press X Podcast, episode 73, your weekly podcast for gaming news and opinions coming at you each and every Monday at noon Eastern. I am Kevin McManus. With me, Kellen Williard.
What's up?
Supposed to be with us, Nick Hassell.
He's in my...
not here. He's asleep.
Or KIA, I guess.
We were hanging out, watching a great movie.
That's not the word I would use.
One of the best movies of all time.
Good God, no.
A fantastic piece of cinematography.
That is probably not true either.
Tekken Blood Vengeance, the CG Tekken movie, which is entertaining. A good word for it. It's not good. I mean,
for some, it is entertaining.
Yeah, if you know the Tekken lore and stuff, it's a fine thing to...
2 out of 4 people stayed awake for it.
That is true. We went in with 4, and only 2 are here.
And here's the living.
It's a mediocre movie that I wanted to watch to get ready for Tekken 7. It has nothing to do with Tekken 7, really.
Not even a little, no.
But it just put me in the Tekken mood. I'm ready now.
There's so much fighting in it.
There's so much random schoolgirl. There's like 3 separate storylines going on, and they don't finish or give a good reason for any of them.
One just starts the last 10 minutes. Like, I don't know.
But there's a panda, so it's a good movie.
He's the best character.
Anyway, Tekken Blood Vengeance. Check that one out.
Quality entertainment.
I want to go over some things real quick. First off, E3 is coming, and I was thinking, it would be a waste of an episode going over all the things that might happen at E3 and then having E3 happen and just knowing. So I think instead of in 2 weeks when we would normally do the news and be like rumors for E3, which is exciting stuff, but I think that episode is going to be straight up predictions. We're going to figure it all out, but it'll probably be Sony predictions, Microsoft predictions, Nintendo predictions, third-party predictions, just everything, one episode, instead of going over the news for that week, because I feel like that's kind of a waste of time.
Yeah, that's probably all the news would be anyway. So
right, so I don't want to be like, ooh, and there's a rumor that there's PlayStation All-Stars 2, which there always is, and then it never shows up. So I'd rather just kind of skip that. So next week, normal episode. Week after that, predictions episode, which will be very fun. We can finally give the belt to somebody.
It's been sitting up here for a while.
6 months or whatever the heck it's been. I also want to make one correction from last week, because I was wrong. Rare. I know this never happens. I've never been wrong before. This might be the first time in the history of the show.
Wrong.
I'm wrong at least 3 times a week.
Yeah.
But we were talking about the 3-player, I think it was it Friday the 13th? I forget. But we were talking about Xbox, PlayStation, and PC crossplay, like a trifecta crossplay. And I think I said that Microsoft wouldn't allow that. It's actually Sony that doesn't want that. Microsoft wouldn't allow it for Final Fantasy for some reason.
There was something they wouldn't let it do.
Final Fantasy 14 online for some reason.
Yeah.
And I almost feel like that was because they went to PlayStation first and all this stuff. Because they have weird deals where if they went to someone first, they want exclusive stuff for it and all that crap.
Wasn't there a weird thing with Rocket League too?
Yeah, Rocket League I think was the first game that got it working.
Yeah, that's what
Don't quote me on that or I'll be wrong next week too, but I think it was something like that. Yeah. But anyway, it's actually Sony who doesn't want to work with Microsoft, not Microsoft who doesn't want to work with Sony. But besides that, let's move into what we've been playing. Do you have anything exciting to talk about with us?
Played a little more Fire Emblem, new Fire Emblem.
Mm-hmm.
Got to do some of the dungeons. Really interesting. It's a nice change of pace from just doing RTS all the time.
How's it compared to like, what was it, Echoes? No, Echoes is the new one.
That's what I'm playing now.
Conquest. How's it compared to Birthright Conquest? That's it.
Well, since it's a remake of the second Fire Emblem game, like ever, it's quite a bit different. Like some of the classes are just gone. The weapon triangle's gone. The stories are a little different, not as in-depth. I like it sometimes better. In the newer ones, you can pair up units where they only occupy one space. Can't do that in the old ones. They still have the lettering for how close they are in terms of like their storylines. It's a little different.
Different but good?
Different but good. I like it quite a bit. Yeah, I like the dungeons because they kind of break up the RTS.
Gotcha.
And you run through a dungeon like normal and you hit... It almost feels like a Persona 3 dungeon.
Ooh.
You run up to them and you hit them with the sword and then you go into the RTS. And you do your normal turns and stuff.
Oh, that's cool.
It's pretty neat. I like it, though. That and I started playing Grand Theft Auto 5.
Randomly. Why'd you start this?
Because I was working on my computer and I was using it to benchmark and just was like, oh yeah, I never actually played most of the story for this game and just started playing it.
I heard you did real good with your computer and it fits all nicely. And it looks
No, the side panel's open. It doesn't fit at all.
It looks real good. You're good at measuring all the pieces that you're getting in. This is why PC sucks.
It fit the first time and then I added something else and it didn't fit.
Well, yeah. That's normally what happens when you add things to something.
Yeah, I bought too small a case. Oh well.
Oh, it's the case's fault, not
the
pieces
case
that you're putting in swap.
Oh well.
Is that it? Is that all you've been dabbling in?
Pretty much. GTA 5 and
small week. Yeah, I've been. I don't want to beat a dead horse. Persona 3. Been going through that more. Getting close to the end. I think I only have a few months left. Yoramari Night Alone, which was a horror game that I talked about a few weeks ago. My friend Mercedes Cody came over. We finished that game. I have no clue what happened at the end of that game. It got real weird, but that's still a very good horror top-down Vita game that is very much Silent Hill without being able to go into buildings. It's like only if you could run around the towns. It's pretty short. It's very forgiving. If you collect an item and then die, you keep that item. So they almost were like, we don't want this game to be frustrating. We would want you to just enjoy it.
We want you to be able to finish it.
And I thought that was really cool. I also played... Whenever they come over, we always just go through all these horror games. That's what we do. That's how we hang out. So we played Kuon, which is this Japanese, very expensive PS2 horror game. I had no clue what to expect. It's a little more action-based than I wanted. You basically pick one of two characters. One uses melee, one uses spells. And you're, I guess, purifying ghosts on, like, a shrine. Very Japanese. You're, like, running around in, like, a Komodo. Like, super Japanese game. But very cool. Fairly scary. I wouldn't say I was like, but we only played it for about an hour or so. We kind of hopped between games. I also played the original Clock Tower for the first time ever, which was awesome to be able to play. That game is very slow.
Yeah.
You click, and it's about how quick you walk when you're being chased by a killer.
That's how quick I would walk.
Yeah, the game's good. It builds up tension, but I literally, I started using a guide after a bit. I was like, I don't know what to do, and I was still getting killed. It seems very random, like the killer just kind of wanders the house, and sometimes you're in a corner, and he walks through the door, and you're like, well,
nothing I can do, yeah.
I'm screwed. But it's definitely fun to play. Found out that game only released in Japan.
Oh.
So you have to, if you want to play it here, you either need to buy a cart that it was put onto, which does not work with the Retron 5, which plays a bunch of 10 different games.
A lot of different stuff, yeah.
Game consoles.
The Monopoly machine, as I call it.
Yes, that is what it is for. NES Monopoly. But yeah, so you either need to buy a cart and play it on an original Super Nintendo or emulate it and get a English patch, which is what I did. So that was cool. We played Eternal Darkness, which is the one that we're probably going to beat next. We got over halfway through it. Love that game. Talked about it a lot. Starts you basically are in a mansion. You find a book. You read a page of the book and you play like the page that you read, and that character gets abilities and different things. And then when you're in present day, you have those abilities, and it's very much like the mansion from Resident Evil. And you use those abilities to unlock new doors and find new paths. And then you find another page and you read it and you get new abilities. And you find another page and you're going through all these chapters. And it starts at, I think, 3 BC time period. And it jumps forward until your present day. Very cool.
That's a long jump.
Yes. I think there's like 13 chapters. I don't know. I may have made that up. But there's around there. And the cool thing that I was talking about is the sanity effects. You have 3 meters. Something really cool in that game. Very early on, you make a choice, and it changes who the boss in the game is, like the final boss, and how enemies interact with you. Very cool. And it was kind of funny, like we were discussing what we wanted to pick, because I didn't know. It's basically colors, just green, red, and blue. And I was like, I don't know. And we decided...
That sounds familiar.
We decided on blue. I think it was. We decided on blue, and then we saved the game after we did all the stuff, and I looked at my 3 past playthroughs, which had been 5 years apart. Like, I play this game very rarely, and I've picked blue in every single playthrough, and I'm like, I must just have the same discussion with everybody
every time we play it.
But so I don't actually know the other ones because apparently I've only done this
Only
way.
blue.
And whenever an enemy sees you, your sanity drops, and then it can start playing tricks on you. The game will start messing up. My favorite one that happened, it was Cody and Mercedes over playing the game with me, is this character basically appears and says something very much like it's the end of the game, and it fades to black, and it says, pre-order now, game coming out June whatever, and they both looked at me and went, we're playing a demo, and then the screen flashes, and they're like, this can't be real, and it's back to the normal game. And I was like, hey, got you guys good. That was pretty sweet. But really enjoy that game. Insanity effects, super cool. Fake shut off your TV. There's some really good ones. Like, the worst one that got me is your save is corrupted. So you go to save the game, and it, like, restarts, and then you go to load it, and it's like your save is corrupted, and you're like, what's happening? And then all of a sudden it flashes, and you're back into your game. I'm like, oh, my God. Got me real good. Friday the 13th came out this week. I've been watching a whole bunch of that. Game's very janky.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Very not it like it's a fun experience, but it's probably not a great game. Like reminds me a little bit of like Pokemon Go in that
the way it released. Yeah,
like everybody loved Pokemon Go. They liked playing it and everything, but like the game's not very good.
There's not a whole lot of game to Pokemon Go.
Yeah. So you spawn. You're a counselor. You go and find randomly hidden things. You need like car keys, gas to get the car started, or you need to find a house with a phone and fix the phone line and call the police, or all these things. And kind of when you're together as the group, you need to be like, all right, this is what we're doing. Though I did see one part that was really funny. They were doing a 2-seater car, and there was 3 people left, and one guy had an axe, and he's like, if you don't let me in this car, I'm going to kill you.
That's what you got to do.
And then one person's playing as Jason. As time goes on, they get new abilities. So the first one's kind of like a Sixth Sense type thing, where if you're making noise and stuff, he can see you on the map. And then eventually it moves into you can teleport. You can move really quick, almost like... I don't really know how to describe it, but you get to move really quickly, and it's basically another form of a teleport.
Yeah.
And if you're outside, basically at any point, Jason can teleport to, because he can't teleport inside places. He can basically just teleport to you and like instant kill you. As you kill more people, you get more experience, etc., etc. You unlock more skins, more outfits, more like finishing moves for Jason, things like that. So really cool. $40 digital, $60 at retail, though there's no like actual retail copy as far as I understand.
Yeah, I hadn't seen it actually out anywhere.
Yeah, like I've went to stores, they don't have it. I think it was a like pre-order, or not pre-order, but like a Kickstarter.
You say it was a Kickstarter thing, yeah.
Bonus only, and then they did like a backer kit that you could get afterwards, but you couldn't get it when I tried to get it, which was like 2 weeks before launch. And the game doesn't have the single player that was promised, and doesn't have some other things, and they're adding all that in the summer. So I was like, this doesn't seem like a bad game to get digitally, because if you get it on the disc, you literally don't have the game, and the part of the game that you do have is online only, so you need online anyway.
Might as well get it digitally for cheaper.
Yeah, exactly. For $20 cheaper, you might as well get it. So... if you like online stuff, like playing online exclusively, or a huge fan of Friday the 13th, which is kind of where I am, I think you'd enjoy the game just to enjoy it, but I would not say it is a good video game. I think it's...
Not from what I've heard. It's too
fine.
Too broken.
And then the other big one I've been playing, Mario 64. And man, is that a fantastic video. Like, seriously.
Yeah, we've never talked about that before.
Yeah, but I haven't played it a lot.
In a while, yeah.
Like, I played it for quite a long time over the past week. And, like, the way they design the levels, and it's like, okay, every level has exactly X enemies and areas and stuff to put in 100 coins, which is just enough to make the levels feel tight enough to be good and not open enough to feel boring or
to get
like
lost
lame
in,
or things like that. And then they all have exactly 8 hidden red coins, which is perfect. And they like, and there's the water level, the whatever like everything. It feels like they hit every theme perfectly. It's just and then the controls are really good. And I'm playing it with actually a PS4 controller. And the controls feel really tight with the PS4, way better than the N64 weird Trident controller.
The 3-arm controller, yeah.
But it feels really good. I'm like, man, this is like a really good game.
Yeah.
I would love
some of the best level design ever.
Like, I would love them to remaster the game. Not like, they did it on the DS, but it was crappy. I don't know how you mess up a near perfect game. They made it so that you couldn't like run without holding a button, or no, you ran by default and you had to hold a button to not run. And it was just
they
weird.
changed some of the like basics and kind of
they added other characters and stuff. But like, if you what seems like I don't know because I haven't played it, do the Crash Bandicoot remaster to Mario 64, perfect.
It could be flawless.
Perfect game. But yeah, really
put that
enjoyed
on
it.
the Switch.
Yeah. I have no words for how good that like. I was talking about possibly doing episodes where we do like your top 10 favorite games, and then one episode we do Nick's top 10 favorite games, and then we do my top whatever. And like Mario 64, man, it's easily on that list, and like this just put it a lot
just
higher.
Cemented it, yeah.
Like, oh my gosh, it's so good. So good. So let's move into some news. There's kind of a lot of news this week, but it's kind of all like, no one cares.
Kind of light, but yeah.
There's one or two things that like matter. And everything else is like, okay, cool.
It's like neat.
Bunch of delays.
That's surprising.
Nothing that matters. I will say, Nick helped me do the script this week. So
Slacker.
I may not know a lot of this stuff because it was supposed to be his.
Yeah, we'll wing it.
We'll start with the biggest piece of news. Far Cry 5 got that logo reveal last week or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, just the logo.
They put out the official trailer, and it takes place in Montana, and it is a religious cult, I guess is
a cult leader.
Is the best way to put it. Yeah, Far Cry 5. How do you feel about the modern day Far Cry idea with a cult leader?
It looks neat. I kind of want to play it more than I have the last couple of Far Cries that have looked kind of generic to me, but this one looks pretty interesting. I may give this one a shot, actually.
I agree. I've always wanted to give Far Cry more of a shot than I have. I've always been
I have
like,
too. I've always been kind of on the fence on it, and then I just skip them.
On it, especially 4.
Except Blood Dragon. Blood Dragon's sweet.
That's fair. Especially 4, I was like, I'm not feeling it. But this one, I'm like, I might give this a try. Modern day is cool.
Yeah.
I've talked about there's not enough like modern day. I mean, Far Cry's not an RPG, but like RPG-ish stuff. You get to make your own character in this one. That's cool, I guess. First-person games where you make your own character is always fun.
Yeah, you get to see all the stuff you do.
But this reminded me a lot of BioShock Infinite. It feels like they have a very there's American flags everywhere, and it's got that BioShock Infinite feel to me.
Kind of look a little bit almost.
So what I'm hoping from this game is to get, I don't know really the storytelling of Far Cry, but I'm hoping it's a really good story, because I'm kind of scared they're going to be like, all right, we got our setting and we got our characters, and we don't really have any like there's nothing really there. It's like, oh, it's a crazy cult leader, and then they just go do whatever. Like, I want him to the best villains, which Far Cry has good villains.
Yeah, Far Cry, I think it was 3 had one of the best villains people loved.
Vaz.
Yeah,
Vaz. Yeah. And Pagan Min was 4's villain, but the best villains are always like Magneto or something like that. Villains where you can see their perspective.
Yeah,
like
it kind of makes sense.
You could put yourself in their shoes and be like, yeah, I could
He's
see
not that far
why
off.
he thinks that would be bad and this would be good, and et cetera. And I hope that they have that, but I'm scared with the topic that they're going with that
it may be a little
it's not going to be
off, yeah.
Not going to be like that at all. But I'm definitely, obviously we didn't get gameplay or anything like that.
Yeah.
I got my eye on this game.
Yeah, I'm kind of interested.
Which is
good
for Far Cry, because I haven't really cared.
I usually skim over those, so.
Yeah. I think, I'm not 100%, I think it's an early 2018 game. First 3 months of 2018. So
first quarter or whatever.
So look forward. I'm sure at E3 we'll see a gameplay demo of that.
They'll probably give something on it, I'm sure.
And I will be very interested. Next up, Games with Gold for Xbox, as always, gets revealed before PlayStation, so we have those. Though I will say PlayStation's rumored games are Killing Floor 2 and Life is Strange. And we all know how I feel about that game. So
you love Life is Strange?
But Games with Gold, we got Speedrunners, Watch Dogs, Assassin's Creed 3, Dragon Age Origins, and a bonus, because there's normally only 4 things, a DLC pack for Phantom Dust. I think they want to get people
want people to actually play that game. Yeah.
Good month.
It's a very
fine
good month.
Assassin's Creed 3, one of the worst Assassin's Creeds, but that's fine.
Still a big name.
Still, yeah, very much. Like, you see that on a poster or whatever.
That is a big
Assassin's Creed 3 for free. That's cool. Watch Dogs, another big name.
Yeah.
Double Ubisoft games. Dragon Age Origins, another big name.
It's a huge game.
And then Speedrunners, which I don't know too much about.
I don't know much about Speedrunners. 3 of those I own, and none of them are Speedrunners.
I've watched Speedrunners on Twitch.
Oh, really?
But that's about it.
I
mean, I've watched people speedrun games on Twitch.
Were they Speedrunner?
Ooh, haven't seen that one.
Yeah, I don't know much about that game. I know Dragon Age Origins pretty well. And now sometimes I hate that game, sometimes I love that game.
I don't know anything about it. Moving on. Something I do know something about. The Crash Bandicoot.
Yeah.
Got a new trailer showing off Crash 3, Crash Warped, the one that people like the most, even though that's wrong because 2 is the best Crash Bandicoot.
Warped is the best Crash Bandicoot?
No, see, the problem I have with Warped is they added, jet ski levels.
Yeah, they're awesome.
And motorcycle levels and the ones where you ride on the polar bear.
The polar bear is awesome.
There's polar bear in 2, to be fair. But there's a tiger in 3. There's so many different. There's the airplane ones, which are not fun.
I vaguely remember the airplane ones.
There's so many different vehicles in Warped. I'm like, this doesn't feel like Crash Bandicoot.
You got to mix it up.
It's not great. Also, they give you the powers. Whenever you kill a boss, you get an extra power. I think the first one's a double jump, and then you get a bazooka cannon that shoots the stupid Wampa
I remember
fruit.
yeah.
And then eventually you get infinite spins and stuff.
You just
I'm
spin
this
through the whole level.
Feels like I'm cheating. I don't know. There's something weird about it.
Most
but anyway,
of the time.
it got a trailer. It looks fantastic.
Yeah.
I honestly think that this might be one of the best ground up remasters ever. Not like a Tomb Raider where they redid the thing.
Yeah, they just redid
This
Tomb
is
Raider.
the same game, and it's awesome. I mean, there's things like Ratchet and Clank's really good too, to be fair, but really looking forward to this. Very excited.
Correct.
For Crash Warped. There's 3 platinums on it. That was the other thing that they showed off. So
that's cool.
You can get a platinum for all 3 games. So I might actually platinum 2. I imagine, I don't think the lists are out, but I imagine 3 requires you. So there's time things in 3 where you have to beat the levels in under a certain time to get them.
Yeah.
And they're really, 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 you can legitimately try to get all of them and not get any. That's how fast you have to beat it. And I don't know if they're going to be part of the trophies. They'll probably be like, you have to do everything to get the platinums.
Do all the things.
And if that's true, I might just platinum 2. If platinuming 2 is just 100%ing the game, and there's not weird ones like spin 3 times and hit the game.
Spin, jump, spin, do all this.
Yeah, there was one game, I forget what it was, but it was like that. It was it was Uncharted. It's like kill an enemy with a gun, then a grenade, then a melee, then a gun, then a melee. And I'm like, this is a stupid trophy.
It's like, I'm not doing that.
So
that takes too much effort.
Yeah, I was like, this is a dumb trophy. So if they don't have stuff like that, and it's just literally beat a level, beat a level, beat a level, beat a level, collect the crystal, get the gem, I'll probably get at least Crash 2's.
Play the game, yeah.
Platinum. Next up, news that matters to you. Ace Combat 7 has been delayed.
PSVR delayed until 2018.
Yeah, this was kind of a random announcement, and I sort of agree with it because Gran Turismo is a good push, but they're not pushing Gran Turismo VR, which
no,
worries
they haven't
me.
said much about it lately.
They're like, hey, it's playable in VR, bye.
I hadn't heard anything about Ace Combat in a while, and now I know why.
Yeah, that also, too. I don't really know what's going on with these games, so I don't really have too much to say about it, but kind of sucks. VR is doing well. Actually, Farpoint, which was the last big VR game.
I've heard a lot of good things about Farpoint.
Yeah, the game is supposed to be but when you play it in VR with the new aim controller, it's supposed to be awesome. And I missed out on getting it at launch. I was like, I'm not really feeling it.
Wait and see. Yeah.
And now it's impossible to get the bundles, but I'm sure they're going to do bundles for whatever the next game is that
I'd
has
imagine.
that controller. People love the controller. It's really good. There was a problem, which would affect you, actually, in Farpoint VR specifically, where if you were left-handed...
Oh, we're screwed.
If you were left-handed, you actually held the gun lefty, the controls wouldn't, work correctly.
Wouldn't swap with you or something?
Yeah, which is weird because they ask you if you're left-handed when you start the game. But, yeah, the controls basically weren't correct, the movement controls. So... they said that they know that and they're working on a patch, but that's a weird thing to know and
that's
not.
an odd thing to not know day one.
Yeah, that seems like a very easy thing to realize.
Because I shoot left-handed, so that would be weird for me.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. But either way, Farpoint was the number 2 best-selling game in the UK last week or last month or whatever it was. Well, that's pretty impressive.
Huh, I didn't know that.
But yeah, we need some more VR things. Like I think Gran Turismo is a huge push for.
If it does well in VR, that'll help.
Huge, but they aren't really pushing it like it is huge, and that's strange to me. So
yeah, you think they want to sell more of those things?
Yeah, I mean they're doing well, but they're finally in store shelves. Like you can go to the store and finally buy one. And I just like Farpoint was their big one, and that's fine. It came out, it was good, whatever. It had the aim controller, but like. I don't know what's next. Gran Turismo seems next, but they're not pushing like Gran Turismo like it is next. So I don't know if there's one or two games that are like hush-hush that we'll see at E3 or what's going on.
Yeah, Best Buy had Vives in. I almost bought a Vive.
Oh, really?
They had a couple of them.
I wouldn't hate you if you got a Vive.
I thought about it.
I'd definitely go play
I did all that stuff to my computer so it'll run it now, and I was like, I kind of
There's definitely still games, like for some reason PSVR is banking so hard on the multiplayer.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about Star Trek Bridge Crew, which I think we've had on our releases 4 separate times. That game is finally actually coming out this week.
I know we've talked about it at least once. I remember it.
The game is actually coming out finally, and like that's a multiplayer online PSVR game. Werewolves Within, which is my favorite of them. Multiplayer online VR game. Eagle Flight. The Starblood Arena. All rigs. All these games are these online experiences, and I'm like, I really don't think that's a good way. Like, you can get some people addicted and have like a good community, I guess, but I feel like the replayable solo things are what you want, like Resident Evil. Where it's like, all right, you beat it. Now you have new weapons, you have new abilities, you have handicaps, things like that. Like that's what I want out of VR. I don't really want the multiplayer stuff, but it seems like we're just getting Battlezone.
I think we'll get there eventually.
Eve Valkyrie is another multiplayer. Like they do so many multiplayer VR things. I'm like, that's not what I want. But it seems like that's where
it sells stuff though right now. So.
I guess so. It must be. I mean, everyone's doing it.
They're doing well. But yeah, you divide your small community even more.
Yeah,
so.
you only have, like, you have maybe, this is not right, 2 million PSVRs, because it was at 1 million, like, end of last year.
Yeah.
So we'll say 2 million on a good day. And then they have to have the game. They have to want to play in VR. They have to want to play online at that point. They have to have PS Plus, all this stuff, and you just narrow it down so small.
You just keep chopping
people out. And then you
out.
go into Werewolves Within, and there's 12 people playing. And it's like, why is there 12 people playing? Because there's 45 games in VR that are doing the same thing.
Because these are all multiplayer, yeah.
And I think all of the best VR experiences, like Job Simulator and Rez and Thumper and Batman and all these things are the single-player ones. Like, Riggs is really, really cool, and my favorite of probably that and Werewolves are really good, like, multiplayer things, but, like, Riggs has a cool single-player that you can play. Werewolves doesn't, but Riggs has a cool
that doesn't work single-player, though.
Yeah, that would be a real... just robots. I am not a werewolf. Ooh. Please don't kill me.
Don't shoot me.
Anyway, Ace Combat 7 delayed.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, because I would play that. I'm not even a big... I mean, I don't care anything about Ace Combat. You know what I do want?
What?
Twisted Metal VR.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
I just had an idea. They did Grand Theft Auto VR.
That sounds like the ESRB would be... They'd be like, what are you doing?
No.
This isn't allowed?
Because I was doing the plane flying stuff today. I was like, ooh, this would be fun.
Is it first person on PC?
You have the option. It has the first person mode, third person mode.
Gotcha. Did it launch at the same time as like PS4 and stuff?
Oh, God, no. It's like a year and change later.
Oh, it launched after.
It was much later on PC. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Well, I know it was on PS3 and Xbox 360, and then it launched on PS4, and then it launched after on PC?
PC was the last one to get it by quite a bit, yeah.
Damn. Good job, Rockstar.
I waited and I held out hope.
Hey, Red Dead. Red Dead 2 has been delayed until spring 2018. This was an official announcement. They put out some screenshots after that, but whatever.
Yeah.
Not very surprising. One of your predictions.
I'm pretty sure I called this.
Yeah, we had 5 predictions each for the year at the first episode of this year, and one of your predictions was Red Dead being delayed, and I think I made the comment of there is no way that's ever happening. And I put that like we were picking our pie in the sky, things that would never actually happen, and yours was that. And mine was the Spyro collection. There's actually evidence that the Spyro collection...
There's a legit shot that's coming.
There was a PlayStation France, maybe? I forget.
It was somewhere in Europe. It was like PSEU or something.
Yeah, they posted a picture, and it was clearly like some
Just their
intern
mascots,
made the picture or whatever, but it had Spyro on it, so we got the okay
He's
to put
flying back
Spyro
there.
in it. And there's just rumors floating around that Spyro might get a remaster.
I think it depends on how Crash does.
I think the reception to Crash was probably so great that Sony was like,
if it
Here's
sells,
the
we're going
money,
to go on with this. Yeah.
you know, and they have a really good partnership with Activision now because they have Call of Duty. They have
They give them a lot of money.
Destiny. Like, they have a good relationship with them. So they could be like, hey, we'll market your game full whatever. Give us an exclusive, like, remaster Spyro. Like, give us the rights to remaster Spyro. We'll pay for it.
We'll do it, yeah.
And it'll be sweet. But anyway, we'll talk more about that in E3 predictions, I'm sure.
Probably come up.
I might have a double prediction.
Oh,
that
Lord.
happens. Probably an E3 thing, but Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle has leaked. This was something that we talked about before the Switch was even out. Basically, the Rabbids, I don't know if you know them, the Rayman Rabbit, they're stupid rabbits with weird faces that are annoying.
They're minions before they were minions.
They are minions, basically. They're getting a crossover game with Mario, and the first art leaked from it. It's basically Mario with Mega Man's gun shooting in the sky, which is kind of cool. And then a bunch of Rabbids doing the same thing. And there's a Rabbid dressed as Princess Peach that everybody keeps being scared is going to hit DeviantArt.
Yikes.
Yeah, I don't really know what's going on here. It's rumored to be an RPG. I won't say it is an RPG, but
Mario RPG.
At least rumored to be an RPG. Do you have any interest in this game?
If it was a Mario RPG, I'll probably try it.
Really?
Why not? Got nothing better to do. Unless it's on Switch, I don't have one of those. So.
Well, we'll talk about that in a little bit. But yeah, I don't like the Rabbids, whatever. But to me,
they're kind of dumb. But
I assumed this was going to be some sort of weird, like, for some reason, like not an arena shooter, but a gallery shooter, I guess is the best way to put it, where you just have like a cursor and
you're just shooting the rabbits.
Man, that doesn't sound very fun on Switch.
It seems like it should be like a party game.
I don't know what this game is.
I'm not sure what it should be, but
how do you make a Rabbids Mario game?
I guess we'll find out.
That's true.
Instead of Yoshi, you write on a rabbit.
Nah, that's probably not happening. I don't know. You have a gun? Mario's got a gun?
Well, maybe he's... I don't know. I'm not even going to go there.
Anyway, I imagine we'll see it at E3.
Yeah.
Next up, just a real quick aside. Basically, this was not too much news, but Microsoft basically has no interest, little desire, if you will, to go after third parties for Xbox. And I think you've seen this recently. The marketing campaigns for PlayStation have been very strong.
They've taken off. Yeah.
Nintendo, no marketing campaigns. Really, I mean, they got like exclusives, like Bomberman's an exclusive Switch game. But they don't have like the marketing campaign. Like, I can't even think of a big third-party Switch, like multi-console release game that's also coming to Switch. Like Destiny's
at
not,
the same time.
Red Dead's not. Yeah, even things like Rhyme. I think Rhyme is 2017. Like, it didn't even launch.
Maybe
with
sometime.
The Switch. Yeah. I guess that's important to point out too. Because I have the box here. And why didn't you talk about Rhyme? I guess we'll get there. That's one of the things. We'll get there. But I have not played Rhyme. I do want to point that out. But yeah, Rhyme for the Switch, not launching with everything else. There was something else recently as well that they announced, and they're like, also it's on Switch, but later.
It'll be Switch later.
Yeah, that seems to be happening. So cool. But yeah, Microsoft doesn't have much of a desire. They don't have, like, PlayStation has Far Cry, PlayStation has Red Dead, PlayStation has Destiny, PlayStation has Call of Duty, PlayStation has Battlefront. Like, they have all of the third-party deals, and then they arguably have Crash Bandicoot as an exclusive.
Yeah.
Like, it might be a 1-year exclusive deal. We just still don't know, but that's the rumor. Which, if that is true, I wish that they would just say it, because I hate that, like, secrecy thing. And Microsoft seems to not be doing any of that, and I think it's because they got real burnt, and they kind of killed Rise of the Tomb Raider. It released on the same day as Fallout. It was Xbox only because of their weird 1-year exclusive
their odd
deal.
Exclusive deal, yeah.
And then that game just died because it was on that. And then by the time it came to PlayStation, nobody cared. And I think they hurt the game, and I think they got a lot of backlash for it, which I agree with. Like, they got a lot of backlash for that. And the reason I agree with that and not like Street Fighter is a PS4 exclusive that was a multi-platform game, and now it's exclusive to PlayStation. But like Street Fighter is played on PlayStation.
Yeah, it's more of a PlayStation thing.
And you know what else is? Tomb Raider. And I think that's where your problem is. I think if you made BioShock or Mass Effect an Xbox exclusive for a year,
they both started like that. But
I don't think you would have got that big of like a or if Sunset Overdrive 2 comes out and they're like, hey, it's a 1-year exclusive.
We've
on
still
Xbox.
got this for a year. Yeah.
If Titanfall, which it wasn't, but Titanfall 2 was a 1-year exclusive on Xbox. Like, I don't think people would be as mad, but the fact that they were literally like, you guys have Uncharted, we don't have Uncharted, Tomb Raider's ours now.
Yeah.
And then like they delayed Uncharted and it became this really awkward thing. But anyway, like I think that's the reason people were mad, and I don't know if Microsoft's not like identifying that or what, but they don't seem to be going after any deals. And I really don't know what they're doing with Scorpio.
I'm not sure what they're doing at all.
Yeah, like we were talking about,
they're not putting their own stuff out.
We
They're not getting third-party deals. Like
predictions for E3 for Microsoft, and I'm like,
somebody gets to talk about the Scorpio. The other two just sit here. Like,
Halo's not there. Gears
no Gears.
there.
Yeah.
Like Phantom Dust is out now.
Yeah, it just kind of snuck out there.
Like they got like Crackdown, Cuphead, and Sea of Thieves.
But that Cuphead game is still not out.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on over there.
I don't know what they're doing or gonna do.
So I'm interested to find out. But yeah, Microsoft seems a little bit scared to do the third-party things. And the thing is, Microsoft doesn't need Xbox. Like, they got Windows.
Like Nick said downstairs, they don't need that. They have Windows.
They have Office. Like,
yeah,
they're making money. Xbox, if anything, is bad for them.
Yeah, I don't think they make a whole lot of money on those anymore.
We shall see. In a Sony corporate strategy meeting, this is one that Nick added. I'm glad he's here to talk about it. Strategy meeting, PSN and basically PlayStation Plus, etc. numbers have been revealed, and they have gone up tremendously.
A lot.
Obviously, since the launch of PS4, etc. They have 26 million plus PlayStation Plus members, which is a ton, especially when you think that they're paying probably yearly because it's the best deal.
Yeah, it's the best way to do
for
it.
that service. And they have 70 plus million active PSN users constantly. So it's awesome. It's good. Good, strong community.
I'm in one of those groups and not the other.
Yeah, you need to get that renewed.
Yeah, mine expired.
Things like I know like Rocket League, things like that have actually not seen a dip in users since it's come out, which is
that's impressive.
Which is very insane. Lots of people like Overwatch and even Destiny.
Overwatch's following is better than I thought it would be.
Yeah, even Destiny, like keeping strong player bases is a big part of those games, and it seems like everybody's doing well, which is good.
If you're on PlayStation.
Yes. I mean, I'm sure Xbox's numbers are at least good.
I'm sure they're, yeah.
And I don't know about Nintendo. Nintendo's online kind of sucks.
Who knows what they're doing?
But there was an exec at Sony who said that part of their goal is expanding PlayStation VR beyond gaming, a sentiment often expressed for VR, move into the mainstream. And to me, that says that they are going to be doing things like concerts,
VR
live
movies.
concerts, maybe sporting events.
The live concert seems cool to me. I'd like to see
Live
that.
concert seems cool. The sporting events where you get like ringside seats to fights and things like that. I know PlayStation now has a venue in New York City, and I'm like, oh, you can do like a VR venue. That was kind of cool.
That's cool.
Set up literally a VR camera, like a couple of them,
Just
and let the
around.
person jump to whatever camera they want to watch, and
I want to control the Monday Night Football camera that's over the field on the wires.
I don't think you actually get to control the camera.
No. I'm controlling the camera.
You just hit the ball out of the air.
I'm driving this right into Tom Brady's forehead.
It's like, don't be doing that. It's like when the Cowboys did the punt, or I don't think it was the Cowboys, but it was in Cowboy Stadium. And
hit
what
the
happens if the ball hits the scoreboard?
And
they're like, I don't know. And they punted it and it hit the scoreboard, literally the first game in that stadium. And they're like, the refs are like, redo.
Remix.
They just made them redo the kick. They're like, wow, this camera came out of nowhere and hit the ball.
Why does it keep chasing this guy around?
And this camera does not like Tom Brady right now.
It keeps flying right at him.
Moving on, Xbox has some Game Pass details emerge as it is launching June 1st.
Yeah.
Basically, launching $10 a month. Really cool service. Much better than PlayStation
This must be what they're working on.
That's true. Much better than PlayStation Now service, if I do say so. In my opinion, as somebody who's even used PlayStation Now, you get to download these games. You get to not keep them, but keep them as long as you have your service.
Yeah.
And this is basically just like the best part of Xbox Games with Gold or PlayStation Plus for $10.
Yeah.
So if you only care about the free games and you don't care about the online, though I guess you will need Xbox Live to play these games online, which is a little weird. But anyway.
Do they check your code or whatever?
I'm sure they have to, right? Because you can't play online without it. But anyway, some of the launch games, we have Halo 5 Guardians, NBA 2K16, Payday 2, Lego Batman, Banjo-Kazooie, Viva Pinata, Mega Man Legacy Collection, Streets of Rage, Pac-Man Championship Edition for $10. This is solid. Like, even if you only care about one of these games and, like, maybe you're having people over and you're like, hey, let's play that Pac-Man.
Let's play some Halo, you know?
Yeah, you can just be like, all right, for $10, it's like renting the game for a month.
Yeah.
That's sweet.
And several other games.
Yeah, I approve. And then you can just hop into something like we did the one time. We were playing on PlayStation Now.
We play every BlazBlue they have.
We played every fighting game in the whole category. We were like, yeah, let's just try it all out.
That one was cool. Let's go to the next one.
And I ended up buying that game.
Yeah.
So that's real cool. So let's move on to viewer questions. This is the part of the show where you can be part of the show.
I can?
You can by leaving a comment down below, just like World's End did, super fan World's End. He pointed out that Arkham Knight is his favorite Arkham game too. We were talking about our favorite PS3 games, and he had, I believe it was Arkham City on his list as number one. I personally like Arkham Asylum more than Arkham City, but I made the comment that Arkham Knight is actually my favorite one, even though the game is too long. I think if you just literally play it until you're like tired
until you're
of
satisfied,
it, and then you go on YouTube and watch the ending, you had a good game. Like, that is awesome. Because gameplay-wise, I think story-wise, except for it drags at the end, literally just the end and all this stuff, I think Arkham Knight just blows the other ones out of the water. But yeah, Arkham Knight, his favorite as well. So we have a couple questions here. Let's start out with, what would make you buy a Switch? So what do you need to buy a Switch? Is it a hardware thing? Is it a discount thing? Is it a software thing? Is there a game you're waiting for? Like, what would have you buy a Switch?
I need to not pay $1 million for a second controller.
That's a big problem.
That is a big problem.
Nintendo, a multiplayer console to me.
100%, yes.
Wii U, always been my multiplayer thing. N64, always a multiplayer thing.
The Wii.
Like, the Wii, a multiplayer thing. Like, I don't play this console by myself very often.
It's very rare.
And it's very weird for the Switch to be a solo experience to me.
Yeah, I need cheaper controllers, and I need games that I want. Like, if I want to play Zelda, I play on the Wii U, even though I don't really want to, but there's not much there that I want to play.
So
I'll give it a year when we get Splatoon 2 and maybe the Fire Emblem game comes out, then I probably look at it a little bit more.
So is there any game that they say tomorrow there's a emergency Nintendo Direct and they announce a game? Because this is going to be my answer. What game could they announce that would make you be like buying a Wii, or not a Wii, buying a Switch?
Pokemon Stars.
That would do it for you?
Probably. Even that may not do it, though, because I don't really want to drop $400 to play Pokemon when I can just play it on my 3DS.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
But that would be tough. Tough to pass up.
I have my answer. I don't know if you're not a big fan of dubs, but this is my answer. I want Tokyo Mirage Sharp FE Golden, where it's Switch version of Tokyo Mirage, but the big change that they did for it is they localized it all. They have English voice acting in the game, and then maybe they added a dungeon, some little things. But after the success of Persona 5, which outsold Persona 4 by 4 times the amount, did very, very well, I really think that they could capitalize on being like, hey, this game is like Persona, guys, and doing an English version of it and making a Sharp FE Golden. And if they announce that for the Switch, I'm sold. That would be awesome.
You know their excuse for not dubbing that, right?
Yeah, the excuse for not dubbing is the game is very much
very
pop
music
star
heavy.
which pop idol, which A, is very Japanese, B, the game takes place in Japan, and C, they wanted to keep the same voice actors as singers. And I think all of that is fine. I also don't think the mainstream cares. I
Probably
think
not.
If they sung in Japanese, but the rest of the game was in English, I don't think that they would care. Or you can make an English variant of the songs, because Persona 5 has English music and it works perfectly well.
Yeah, it does.
You know, but that's what like if you talk about an announcement tomorrow where I would just go buy a Switch right away.
What about the Mario 64 remaster?
That would do it too. If they for some reason made a Switch exclusive Mario 64 remaster, that would also do it.
Because how good would that be on the gamepad if you're not at home?
I wouldn't play it on the gamepad.
A lot of people say the gamepad's better than actually playing on TV.
Yeah, which is part of my issue with
part
the
of
console.
my exactly.
Yeah, like I've talked about it before. I think it's great. I think it does a lot of really cool things. My Vita does all those things, and I'll play my Vita. For people who, for some reason, miss the fact that Vita can do all this shit and has been able to do this stuff
for years.
Welcome.
Congratulations.
Welcome to the
Welcome
world
to
of
2010.
Yeah.
Yeah. I already have a handheld that I like, so why would I need another one?
That's how I feel. This is a docked multiplayer console to me. But if you want to sell me a single player game that I want to play instantly, because I already want to replay Sharp FE because of Persona. Like I'm playing P3.
To go through it again, yeah.
I'm gonna play P2. I'm probably gonna hop into P4 a bit, and I'm like, yeah, I'll play Tokyo Mirage again. But if you do a golden version of that, which for people who don't know, they did Persona 4. Persona 4 Golden added a bunch of extra stuff.
A lot of things.
A lot, like they redid the dialogue and all the stuff. It was
a whole other
awesome.
character, like.
They added characters to the game. Oh, it was great. If they did that treatment with this, I think that'd be cool. Would do very well. Also, probably Persona Q too. Even though I didn't love Persona Q, I love the story, not the gameplay. It would probably be if it had like the P5 cast in it. And
if it was like P4 and P5,
I'd also get that.
That'd
Basically,
be cool.
I want a Persona game on
some more Persona stuff because we haven't had enough of it yet.
Not at all.
No, we never
Man, my bedroom doesn't have any Persona stuff in it.
Jesus.
Just a million things everywhere. Next question. So how do we feel? This is kind of a broad thing, but I want to break it down a little bit. And I want to Nick here for this, but because we've talked about it before, but here we go again.
Yeah.
Problem with reviews. And this has been brought up with something like Bethesda. So basically, how do we feel about reviews? And I want to bring Rhyme into this as well. Bethesda, for people who don't know, makes games like Wolfenstein, Doom, the Skyrim series, very popular games.
Who does that Fallout game? Is that those guys?
Prey. They don't allow reviewers, internet, whatever, to get early copies of the game.
Which seems kind of sketchy nowadays.
They say you get it at launch, you play it, you review it, which causes reviewers and especially like YouTubers who don't get many views, etc., to get the game, play through it as fast as possible, and then smack a review in.
Yeah,
and be like, I was first, so I get a bunch of views that people normally wouldn't get. And something like Prey, like Doom came out, was I believe the first game that had this in place, and Doom ended up being good. Doom was a very good video game. But Prey came out and was fine at best.
It was okay, yeah.
Excuse me, fine at best, but like the game had problems on PC. And IGN's reviewer, Dan Stapleton, was playing it on PC and lost his save 3 times. It corrupted 3 times. And he's like, this is 4.5 out of 10. Like,
yeah, I don't blame him for that.
Doesn't work.
I can't finish it. It crashes. It corrupts it.
I can only review my experience with the game. My experience with the game has been bad. Here is my review. But there's people who I'm sure if they saw that review earlier, maybe wouldn't have bought it. Maybe wouldn't have done this. So Bethesda's doing this thing, and that hurts its Metacritic and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like, why would you? I feel like it feels anti-consumer to do that.
Yeah.
Like put out
it feels like you're trying to hide something, but
exactly. Even if you're not, like Doom was fine, and I thought Doom was actually going to be
Yeah,
and it ended up
didn't
being
look like
good.
It would be great. It looked like it'd be fine, but.
And that kind of brings me into my next case with Rhyme. I guess this is just more of a discussion than a question. But my next case with Rhyme, I thought Rhyme was going to suck. I'm going to be dead honest. Yeah. I wanted the game. I was excited-ish about the game, but I was excited to see the reviews for the game to decide if I wanted the game.
Yeah.
Because Tequila Works was working on this game with Sony, and Sony dropped them. Because they literally, like, the rumor was they went in and, like, took their dev kits back. And we don't know why that was. I imagine it was because they weren't meeting deadlines that they had to meet and quotas and things. They were probably telling Sony, "Hey, we'll be done with this section by this time."
Hey, we're almost there. But like, you have like one thing done, man.
Yeah, and they weren't hitting it, so Sony was like, "Okay, bye." Like they knew they weren't going to make money.
We've wasted enough time and money on you.
Exactly. So they went multi-platform on the Switch, on the Xbox, on the PlayStation. And I was like, man, this game probably going to be bad, but I'm going to keep my eye on it. And then the reviews came out, and it's a good game. People that I trust very much are like, it's kind of like Journey mixed with Firewatch mixed with Ico. And I'm like, those are 3 games I love.
That's 3 things that are good to mention, yeah.
Yeah, and like I think it's an 80 plus on Metacritic. Like, it's a good game.
It's doing well, yeah.
And I was like, wow, I totally didn't see that coming. Can't wait to play this game. Go over to Best Buy. They don't have it. And I was like, what the So I'm like, all right, I'll order it from Amazon. I have to wait 2 days, which kind of sucks, but whatever. So I go there, 3 week wait on the game. And I was just like,
where are these things?
This sucks. Like, this is the problem with having your review embargo the day before your game comes out. I literally want to give you money. Like, I want to purchase your good video game, and I can't because stores don't know how much to order and all this stuff.
How much to stock, yeah.
Because the game isn't even like, we don't know if it's going to even be good. So what ended up happening, and the reason I haven't played this yet, I had to go to GameStop, which I hate doing very much, but Walmart also didn't have the game. Best Buy has none in stock, and if you want to order it, you have to wait multiple days. Same with Amazon, all that stuff. I had to go to GameStop and be like, and take it off the shelf and be like, I want this. And I was like, can I have like a new copy of it? Because they open their games.
Yeah, they crack one open.
And I'm like, can I have like a new copy of this? And they're like, this is our only copy. And I was like, really? And they're like, yeah, we didn't get any pre-orders for it, and this is our only copy of the game. And I was like, all right, well, can you not like put the stickers all over the game because it makes the cases sticky and gross, and you did it with my last game that I bought from here, and I don't want that. And he's like, yeah, we can, but then you can't return the game. And I'm like, that's fine because I know it's a good video game now because the reviews
I've seen the reviews.
But if the reviews ended a week early, like movies do and things like that, I think like I would have ordered the game right away like that. But since they didn't, and it was the day before, I was like, I'll go to Best Buy. And this is the 3rd time this happened to me. I went there to get Werewolf Within. They didn't have it. I went there to get Job Simulator. They didn't have it. And I went there to get Rhyme, they didn't have it. And I'm like, these little games that come out physical as well at launch are getting kind of screwed over. And I'm sure I'm not the only one who heard Rhyme's pretty good and then went to the store and went, oh, they don't have it. I guess I'll buy this instead.
I'll do something different, yeah.
Yeah, like I'm dedicated to finding the game that I want, but I'm sure there's people who are like, oh, well.
Some people are not that
I heard this game's good too.
Yeah.
I guess I'll buy this. So I think that the review embargo thing really hurts. Obviously, like Bethesda, that's terrible that it's at launch, like literally post-launch to get a review. This, I think that the day before is awful as well. It's better, but awful. I really think that we should go the way of movies where you have a week early. Like 2 weeks early, people see the movie. And obviously, a movie is way easier.
It's a lot easier. It's a couple hours and you're done.
Yeah, invest into, and there's no day one patch for a movie where the movie changes overnight and stuff.
Yeah. It becomes functional.
Yeah, like the movie isn't going to bug out halfway through. But like,
it might.
And everybody's experience in it isn't different and such. But I really feel like developers should get on the page of, we have it, our day one patch goes live 1 week early, like 1 week before the actual day one, and then reviews come in, and they have enough time to pre-order the game and get it into people's hands before launch. Like the reviews should be early enough that I can buy your game.
Yeah. I should be able to read up on your game before I'm out of luck with getting a physical copy.
And like something like Injustice 2, sure, they're going to have that in stores, but it does.
Yeah, it's a big name.
It does really suck for something like Rhyme, where I'm actually more excited about Rhyme than I have been about a lot of other games, and I haven't played it yet. I can't tell you guys how awesome it is or how it is or whatever because I haven't played it because I couldn't get my hands on it, even though I was trying to. So more of a rant, but. Yes. The final thing I want to touch on, and we talked on this before, and the reason I wanted Nick here is because he actually has a different opinion, and that kind of makes it a little more interesting. This is the fun part about having the 3 people on. I like, my Mega Mans and my
nobody likes Mega Mans.
My Firewatches and my walking simulators and stuff, but I also love my Persona, and Nick likes his Mass Effect and his weird whatever things,
whatever he does on the
stuff.
side.
And then, you love your things, and you love Persona 2. And, like, we have some things that we all really like, but we also disagree on a bunch of stuff.
Like, we gang up on you on Mass Effect, and then we'll gang up on him with Firewatch. Like, it just kind of goes back and forth.
And I know he is very against review scores. And I actually like review scores as long as you know where the review... Like, I like it with stipulations. Especially because when you watch a review or something, you get spoilers. Like, as much as they don't want to, unless you're looking at a blank screen and they're just telling you things, like you watching
they
it
will spoil something, big or small. You have to. Yeah.
Will spoil something. And I the one I always remember, and I always am like, oh, man, I wish that didn't happen, was Infamous Second Son. You get powers in that game, and they even put in their releases, I know, only show the first 2 powers of the game, and IGN's video showed all of them. And I didn't know that. And I just watched this innocent video of, the review, and I was like, oh, okay, it's pretty good, whatever. And I picked up my game and I played it, and I was like, ooh, what's the next power? Because that's the exciting part of the game.
Yeah.
And the power I got, I was like, oh, it's that one from the video. I already saw this already. Like, I was kind of disappointed because of their review that totally didn't need to show the power.
No, not necessary. Yeah.
Showed, the power. So I like review scores for that reason, that I can just click it, scroll to the bottom, and see good or bad.
See a number and see pros and cons.
Will I enjoy this? Will I not enjoy this? Done. Without any sort of spoiler at all. If I already know I'm interested, like Rhyme, I get it. Like, I can watch the reveal trailer and get it. It's Ico, Wind Waker, all these games put together. Witness, put together. Got it. Cool. Let me know if it's good or bad. I don't need to watch a review and read, oh, but sometimes the camera's fidgety. I don't care. Like,
I
just want to know if it's playable, not playable. Good, So, but Nick super hates review scores, like very against it. Always talks about how he prefers sites that don't do review scores and just do written reviews. And I kind of wanted to talk to him about that, but he's asleep downstairs.
What? He's unconscious.
Because Tekken knocked him.
Nick
he got
asleep
knocked
with
out
the
by the
Tekkens.
Tekkens.
That's going to happen again soon.
That's true. You're going to be playing as that bear.
Obviously.
Are you going to be playing as the Kuma bear or the panda bear?
Both.
Oh, really?
Sure, why not?
Interesting. They're going to play differently.
I don't care. We'll figure it out.
Sure. Yeah, I'm going to be playing as Lily, who's been my main forever,
Yeah.
and then I'm going to check out that sleeping vampire chick.
That sleeping vampire chick.
She seems cool. And then they actually took Zafina out of the game, who was one of my other, not main characters, but secondary characters. She reminds me a lot of Voldo. She does a lot of like weird back
all the weird movements
and stuff like that. So you can never tell if her attack's going to be like a high or a medium because she's like on her back on one hand, flipping around and stuff. And I really liked her, but she's actually not in the game anymore. So
they knew you liked it and they took her out.
That must have been it.
I would do that. So
2 guest characters coming for Tekken. We talked about this.
We'll see.
But it's been confirmed. There are 2, like if you buy the season pass, you get 2 guest characters.
I think my prediction's right.
What was that?
Mario and Luigi.
They're not Mario and Luigi. I think I'm willing to bet you they're not Mario and Luigi.
That would be awesome.
Though I will say, I don't know if you even know this, there's a Wii U version of Tekken Tag 2, and there's Mario and Luigi. Like, each character has a Mario or Link or whatever skin in the game. And you can play as like a character dressed as Donkey Kong and a character dressed as Mario.
Well, let's get it.
But there's a new one coming up.
That doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I have no clue who it could be. I think about it quite a lot.
There's a lot of options.
Because it specifically says guest.
Yeah.
I'm like, what character could possibly be?
Probably Mega Man.
I think it would be a Soul Calibur character, but Soul Calibur is not big now. Like, there's no Soul Calibur.
They've fallen off a lot, yeah.
That I can even think
about. It's not a name
you
hear much anymore.
Coming out, and like I think 2B makes a lot of sense and would fit perfectly in that universe.
She would fit a lot.
But like the fact that she's not on Xbox is really weird to me.
They'll figure it out.
I don't know.
Just don't put her on Xbox. They don't get anything else.
That would piss them off so much. Anyway, let's close out this show. Let's close out this disaster piece.
Yeah, I'm used to it.
Game releases, obviously. Gareth, still not
slacking.
I don't think that's the word for it. Gareth taking some well-deserved time off. Newly married. So, game releases looking a little slim. Yeah, whatever. I'll read them.
Go for it.
You don't have to do it.
Too late.
Don't Starve Mega Pack for the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One coming May 30th. I imagine, I haven't looked these up, but I imagine Don't Starve Mega Pack is all of the expansions for Don't Starve as well as the original Don't Starve put together.
Yeah, those were on sale on Steam yesterday, so Friday.
Those games are like they're free on PlayStation Plus, and I like them. They're top down's not really the correct way to put it, but basically they're similar to Minecraft in that like you just survive as long as you can and it counts your days. But at night you have to make a fire because monsters come out, and then you cook food, and you don't want to starve.
You don't starve, yeah.
And eventually you can like build time machines and all this crazy stuff. And the cool thing is every character has a different gimmick for how long they've been alive. So like the main character's beard grows really, really long, and then it starts getting gross and stuff like that. But yeah, Don't Starve is very good for people who like those survive as long as you can style games, which isn't me, but
survival things. Yeah.
I understand why people like them.
They're fun in groups, but other than that, they're...
Also, I just said off camera, but I just looked at the footage, and I'm wearing the same exact shirt I wore last week, last week was a normal episode. But, like, I just have some favorite outfits, and I don't really think about it. And I'm like, oh, I wear them every time I hang out with people, and then now I look like a scumbag because I'm wearing the same thing every week. You are a scumbag. Well, that's true, but now everybody else knows. Next game, Star Trek Bridge Crew.
Actually coming out?
PSVR Vive Rift, May 30th. Yes, actually coming out. Every character in VR takes control of a different section of the ship, I guess you could say.
Different console kind of thing, yeah.
And basically stuff will go wrong, and you need to communicate to each other how to do things, but all the controls are weird and stupid, and it's a funny game. It's not meant to be like a serious
It seems cool.
thing. I guess so. There was a game on the phone that did that. I don't know if you ever played it, where you play over Wi-Fi, and it'll be like, flip the whatchamacallit, and then somebody else literally has a thing called a whatchamacallit on their screen, and they have to do it, and it gets faster and faster and faster and more ridiculous every time.
Yeah, there's a couple PC games like that where you're all on a ship together, but it's more serious.
Yeah, there's Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes, I think is the name of the game.
Yeah.
Where one person's in VR with a bomb, and everybody else has to read to them how to defuse the bomb, and they're like, oh, it's an odd serial number. That means cut the red wires on the bomb and all this stuff. It's cool. Token 2 for the PS4 and the Vita, coming May 30th as well. I believe this is a Monster Hunter-like, but can I confirm that? Danger Zone. This one surprised me, coming for the PlayStation 4 and the PC May 30th. This is the Burnout Team's car crashing game that we talked about. That came real soon.
Yeah, it came out a lot faster than I thought it would.
I would be worried.
Yeah.
They're
just throwing it out there.
They did the golf game. Actually, it was called Dangerous Golf. That they put out, which was a golf destruction game, and it was not good.
That doesn't even fit, but you know.
And now we have this, and I was like, oh, that's cool, but it's out already. So, fingers crossed, it's good. Probably not.
And probably.
I would wait for the reviews on this one, which will be, I'm sure,
this is an average
24 hours before the game comes out.
Yeah.
Though this won't be physical, so it doesn't matter too much. Formula Fusion for the PC, June 1st. No clue what that is.
Nope.
Racing game, I imagine. And big one, Tekken 7, PS4, Xbox One, PC, June 2nd.
No clue what that is.
Obviously, it's actually Tekken 7 Fated Retribution, which is the final game in the saga for Tekken. They've been telling this lovely, amazing story over the course of multiple games.
There's a story to these games?
There is. I don't know it. There's something about devils, and there's a father and a son and another son who hate each other and all fight each other, and there's a devil gene. What, they can turn into devils for some reason.
We just watched them fight.
Akuma's in it. He's like part of the story from
There's
Street
a panda,
Fighter.
you know.
But this is the end of their story, according to them. I don't know what you do with that, because if you ever make another fighting game, people are just going to be mad. Like, people are mad that there's some characters in the game that are like fairly big characters that are not in Tekken 7. People are kind of mad about, like, there's Lee, like Lee, but I also think there's a Lee, Lei, not in the game. People kind of mad about that. I think Anna's not in the game, which is a pretty big one.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
So people are a little mad about that.
What's the kangaroo's name? Jack? Is that just Jack?
No, there is a Jack. There's 7 Jacks. Well, actually 8. There's Prototype Jack.
No, not
Jack,
that one. The kangaroo
Jack 2,
with the box.
Jack 3. No, let me finish. Jack 4.
I don't want you to
Jack
finish.
6, Jack 7. They're robots.
I know those guys.
And then there's Roger, the kangaroo.
Roger, okay.
And Alex, the dinosaur with boxing gloves.
He's a velociraptor with boxing
Not
gloves.
in the game.
Why isn't the velociraptor in the game?
Because it's too similar to a kangaroo. I love that explanation. I mean, we talked about it before, but yeah, there was a video of somebody punching a kangaroo or whatever, so they're like, oh, we don't want, like, PETA getting
We don't
mad
want people
at us,
thinking that came from us.
which is stupid and unfortunate. But I don't ever think for a second they actually plan to
When
have
does
them
anybody
in the
ever
game.
listen to PETA anyway? Like,
That's true too. It's bread.
people eating tasty animals.
I agree, but yeah, like I don't think they for a second thought that those characters would be in the game. But I love their explanation. They're like, so why is the bear and the panda in the game? They're like, oh, because they would stand a chance against a human.
They can fight back.
They're like, oh, they clearly weigh more than a human. I'm like, yeah, well, one of your characters is like a robot chick, and there's literally a pop star. I don't know if you know this. I don't know if you've seen her. You've definitely heard of her. But Lucky Chloe, who they were like, isn't going to release in the U.S. She's actually coming out. She's like a pop idol character with cat ears and stuff.
It doesn't surprise me.
And I'm going to try her.
Yeah, you got to try everybody.
And she probably couldn't kill a bear. That's
No,
all I'm going to say.
A bear would probably maul her to death. It'd be funny, though.
Something like that. But anyway, very excited for this Tekken game. We will have probably all played it at least a little bit.
To some degree.
Next week, so we can talk pretty openly about it. I know my next week's going to be sweet. I get to finish Rhyme. I get to go see...
And start Rhyme.
I get to start and finish Rhyme. Wonder Woman's coming out, which is getting good reviews from the critics.
That's surprising.
Which, actually it is. Like, I talked about it before. I love Batman vs. Superman. I love Man of Steel. I think Suicide Squad's mediocre. They grabbed it for $5 today. But I'm glad that it seems like, and I don't know, because by the time this goes live, it should be up. I know the embargo's on Monday, but it seems like this is going to be the first, like, well-reviewed movie. And if this is the movie that everybody joins together over, I'll take it. Like,
that's fine.
That's fine.
Better late than never.
Yeah, so I get to go see that and play Tekken in the same day. Like, this is going to be a great day.
It'll be a good day.
Yeah, I'm very excited. But that's it for this episode of the Press X Podcast. Like I said before, if you want to leave a comment down below, be part of the show, go ahead and do that. Thank you for being here, Kellen.
Yep.
Thank you for being here, Nick.
It's disappointing.
Is it disappointing, though?
Not really, no.
Or is it just better?
I'm kind of used to it.
Going back to the original.
That's how it should be.
It's a little better. Kick them off. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll speak with you next time.
Nick is fired.
No, he's asleep.
Same thing.
Oh, is that what happens when you get fired? You
Yeah.
go to sleep?
You just go to sleep.